Hello, I'm Landon Krigler, and we're looking at a chart regarding pricing of your home. At the bottom, you see the percentage of buyers who will consider your property. And in the middle, you see the 60% will consider your property if it's at market value. If you go up to 10% above market value, then there's only 30% of the buyers who will consider looking at your property. That is less than half, just with the 10% above the price. At 15, you're looking at 1 out of 10 buyers that are available that would even consider looking at your home. So it is very important to price your home at market value or even a little bit below to be very competitive. So pricing is important. Condition and price are the two most important things when considering a property. Of course, location, and we're going to do a market analysis where all the houses are in the same location. So how do you establish the value of your property? There needs to be an appraisal or a competitive market analysis. You can normally get these free, and we can arrange that for you with a realtor that is a professional, one of the best in the business in your area, and they are familiar with the prices. And we're going to show you how that will be done, how to do a competitive market analysis, and where your home will have the best chance of selling and getting the most money too. It's a combination of the two. So you want to make sure that you have the right price on your home. So what we're going to do is go into our MLS here. This is my local MLS, and we're going to search for homes in the 200 to 225,000 range that are active right now in West Mobile. That's where I live, Mobile, Alabama. You can probably tell by my voice. I'm from the South, so please don't hold that against me. I've been a realtor for 40 years, sold thousands of houses. So anyway, here we have the list of homes available. It's quite a list in that one area. So what we're going to do is look right in the middle here and get one that is on the market. We don't want to go too high. We don't want to go too low. So this is going to be our baseline, you might say, what we call the subject property. This one's active, and yours would be the subject property. Now what we're going to do is look at this a little bit, and we're going to search also for solds. But what we want to do is have the subject, and we're going to have the price and adjustments for each of the homes that we select to be the comparables. Yours is the subject. The houses that we're going to compare yours to are the comparables. And these are not active homes. The most important thing, you're not interested really in what's active. You are to a small degree, but you do want to sell your home. So what you're interested in mainly is homes that have sold and what they sold for and how they match up to your home. So here we're going to look. There's the solds in the last 180 days in this area. We have a few of those. And what we want to do is try to get in the same locality. And we're going to select a couple here that are in the same locality. These are in the general area. But if you can get in the same subdivision, then you know that you're on the right track. And so these homes will truly be comparable. They will compare well. Most subdivisions have restrictions, size limits, and so forth. So we're going to select a couple of houses basically in the same subdivision as the subject, and the subject would be your home. So we want to look at these. We don't want to get too big. There was one in here for over 3,000 square feet. Well, that's not really comparable. It would probably bring your square footage down in the price that you would get. So we want to be fair, and we want to look at these houses. So we're going to select a couple here, and I'm getting that out of the way so we can see better. And there's the comparables that we've selected right here. So now let's look. There they are. You've got your subject up top, And then you've got two comparables in the same area and same subdivision, close in size, and not too far apart in price. Yours is $215. We're pretending this is your home here. So what we need to do is go in here and look at these houses really well. Look at all the information that's given. Look at the picture. See what kind of condition the home is in. If it's similar to yours, better or worse, we can make adjustments for that. But for our purpose, we're going to look at these, and I looked at them in advance, and they're very similar in condition. There's a dark picture, but we won't blame the photographer too much on that, probably the homeowner. Now there's a closed-in porch, but it's done nicely. I think this has been added to the square footage. Normally we wouldn't give as much, but it leads out to a pool, so this has probably the same value. And there's the pool. We're going to make a little adjustment for that. Some people will not buy a home if it has a pool, so you're eliminating some of your buyers. So if you're building a house, unless the whole subdivision almost demands to have a pool, then it's not for resale. You get about half value on a pool. So there's our house. We're looking at some of the wording here. Very nice. They get a long description, and that's what you'd like to do too on your ads. Tell as much as you can, especially the good points of the house and the basics here. So we're going to look at the other one as well. That's a nice looking house. We're going to look at the pictures. We're reading the comments down below as well to make sure it matches up fairly well with your home. So we're going to take a look at these right now. And down at the bottom, this one I believe was a little bit bigger house, and we're checking all the amenities. It had some seller contributions. We're going to talk about that. All these are single story. If you have a two-story, you have to take off. Now why is that? Because the cost is less. You do not have a roof on the bottom story, where if it's two-story, you do not have a foundation on the top story. And so those are two of the most costly things in building a house, is the roof, the rafters, the shingles, and the foundation. The concrete is expensive. So you have to deduct a little bit if it's a two-story house. But what we've done is select all single stories, and we're looking at this one. It looks pretty nice. The bathroom is good, comparable to the first house. We just want to make sure that we're getting all the information we can here. It's got a little storage building, but the other one did too. So now we've established that these houses are similar. So now we're going to make our adjustments. We're going to look line by line and compare these houses. And so we call this adjustments. And that's how you arrive at a true value of the house. And it's an estimate, but it's a good one. If you know what you're doing, you have a little experience on these things. I mentioned a couple of tips that you would have is, on a two-story pool, half value normally of what it cost to build it. And we're gonna deduct for some other things too. So bedrooms doesn't matter all that much because the square footage is the main thing. If there are too many, then the bedrooms are tiny, and it kind of balances out. Bathrooms are the same. Again, these are all one story here. So we're looking at the adjustments that we need to make. So we're going back and we're going to look and see what the adjustments will be on each section right here. So we're moving slowly here to make sure we get it right. All right, so now we're going to make some adjustments on this property here. We see the year built. That'll be an adjustment for sure. And we're going to go back. There's the year built. And normally it's 1% a year. If everybody's kept up their home, you're going to have depreciation no matter what. So if their house is 5 years newer than yours, you have to deduct from that house 5% of the value. Now, you don't need to take the lot value. We'll reduce that. That's why it's not going to be even. But you can subtract that out, and you got depreciation on the roof, the carpet, and everything else on there. So the older the home, the less value it is. So you can take about 1% per year. That's what we're doing here. Look at the ages of the comparables as compared. One of them is newer and one is older. So the newer one we deduct, we add. For that we deduct for the older one. So we adjust it to your house, whatever that is, whatever it comes to be. Now also we have there's the square footage, and we're deducting that. Year built, we deduct from that too. So again, if it's less on the square footage, then of course the adjustment would be plus on yours. We adjust it to yours. All right, seller contributions. Here is where you have to subtract these values because they were paid out by that seller. It's a negative. And you see they pay quite a bit. A lot of people, if they don't give a good faith estimate, they overestimate the amount of closing costs, FHA and VA. You could pay a 4% VA and 6% FHA, but normally a house this size, you don't take the whole 6%. They don't need all that to get their financing. So we've made these adjustments here, and these houses are similar. So let's see what we've got. Going back and checking everything. Here, this house is priced at $215. What we've got it on the market for. But what is our CMA telling us this house should be priced at? And we know we're pretty close because both of them are very close in value. One's 203, 214. The other is about 204. So that's 203 and 204. That's pretty close. So we're somewhere around 204, 203 on our value here. So what we're doing now, we're printing out a competitive market analysis showing you where we got these figures from. And this agent was not far off. They got it at 215. You can go a little higher, but the idea that you can always come down, we've explained that. You can't. If the price is too high, you won't get a chance to come down. And also, you can go up. You can add those closing costs back. If you price it competitively and they say, well, we want you to pay our closing costs, you can add those to the price. So we need to be around 205. We're about 10,000 too high. So that house should be priced at 205. It's been on the market 45 days. That tells us that 215 is not a low price. If it's low, then that house would have taken off the market, been sold. So it's a little bit high, not too bad, but a little bit high. We need to get it down, especially after 30 days. If your home hasn't sold, you hadn't had an offer in 30 days, reduce the price. It's been exposed, and make sure you get it exposed. And that brings us to another thing. The bigger pool of buyers, the better chance you have of getting your home sold at market value or a higher price. Not higher than market. Nobody's going to pay because your appraisal may give you problems if you actually sell it to someone above the market value. So, unfortunately, the way to do that is put it in the MLS. Now, we can get you that. You don't have to do it. It gives you a little leeway with the commission if you don't put it in MLS. But we have a program where you can expose it to more buyers, and normally it will bring you a higher price than you can get yourself. So sign up for our program. We can get somebody to do a market analysis, one of our affiliates, and we only use the best affiliates, those that have had 22 years or more in the business. They know what they're doing. They can do a market analysis like this and actually be on the scene and actually do it better than someone just sitting at a desk like I'm doing right now. But thank you for watching. Order our product.